Hey guys, what's up? So I am in a sling. Yay me. My shoulder keeps dislocating. I am having trouble getting it to stay in place every time I set it back. So I went to the doctor yesterday and he was like, let's sling it, get an MRI to see what's going on. By the way, if anybody has any tips for taking out a daith piercing, let me know, because I don't live next to the tattoo shop I got it done anymore. I think it's like 20 something hours to get there. So yeah, it would actually be cheaper to get it re-pierced than to try to find somebody who can take it in and out. So I'm hoping I won't have to. I'm hoping that since this time my mom and my dad are here, that between the two of them we can get it back in there. But I mean, shit happens. I've got to take care of my health as well, you know. So in light of my reoccurring dislocations and shoulder issues, I thought I would talk about how I've lost myself. You know, when you're ill all the time and every time you turn around there's something new you can't do that you used to love to do, you have a tendency to lose a part of yourself. And this does kind of tie in with the depression that we talked about in my last video. Well, you know what I'm talking about. But it's kind of different in a way. So before I got hurt really bad this very last time, I did kickboxing. I loved kickboxing, and it was good, like a huge relief for me. Like after I would get done, I just felt good, you know. But let's start from the beginning. I have always had issues with my ankles, like since I was little. I sprained them all the time. I did all sorts of crazy stuff, and no one was really sure like why at my age I was having that kind of trouble. Just they were like, some kids have weaker ankles than others, you know, here's some strengthening and all that kind of stuff, you know, just the very basic things, because they didn't see at that time that I had the signs of Ehlers-Danlos. And when you're young like that, it's really hard to decide if it's Ehlers-Danlos or if it's just you're still developing and your tendons and stuff aren't tight yet because you're not fully grown, you know. So that's why it usually takes a while before it actually starts to really affect people. So that being said, I was on several undefeated basketball teams. I played softball, I played baseball, I did swim team, volleyball, basketball, and kickboxing. Those were my two main things for a while. Like, I was rocking it. Kickboxing, I never got to where I got to do official, like, meets and stuff, but I loved it. And basketball, I was on, like I said, several undefeated basketball teams. So, but I moved, and everybody just kind of kept passing me off. And in fact, one time they did a CT after we moved back to the US. And they were like, you didn't tell us that you broke your left wrist before. I was like, that's because I didn't. They're like, yeah, you did at some point. I was like, okay, well, nobody treated it. And I went in several times for injuries like that, and they were like, no, you're fine. Like, basically just rolled me off to the side. So, but that is when I started to like have things taken away from me. Okay, we'll sit and do this, do that, you know what I mean? And at this time, this is right around when I began eating disorder behaviors, and I'll get more into that in another video. But I did that. I was using self-harm to cope, and it was bad. Like, I didn't know how to deal with it. And now as I get older, I find out that like there's nothing anybody that can do about it. So what do we do? What do we do now? So we find something that we like. We find ways to accommodate ourselves. We figure out something as a temporary plan until we know what we want to do for sure. Something that can help us get there. Like right now, I am going to college and I'm taking a course to do pharmacy technician, so I can take the exam and get my certification, and then go from there. Because with college, I'm just like, I'm not sure that being a child and adolescent psychologist is exactly what I want to do right now, or but the other problem I ran into was financial. Just, yeah. And without official diagnosis, I can't even apply for the scholarships. And we talked to the geneticist, and apparently the lab never even started our work. So we're still without answers, even though like we were supposed to get them this week, which really pisses me off. But the doctor was equally mad. So I mean, and I knew it wasn't his fault. So I know I got like irritated, and I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I know this isn't your fault. Because so when we don't see that like, yeah, we're not your only patient, and you're not like right next to the lab just doing nothing. He called. He got on to them. He's trying to get them to rush it now since they did this to us. I don't know exactly where we are. He just said he's fighting for us to get the answers because I need to know Ehlers-Danlos or if it's this other connective tissue disorder that I have no idea how to pronounce yet. But if I have it, I'll learn. If I don't, sorry. Unless he tells it to me again. I can't. Started with an O. It was a little crazy. Anyways. We have to keep moving. We have to just keep going forward, even though it feels like we're climbing up, straight up and down mountain with rocks falling off at us, One of my favorite shirts that I saw was, "This too shall pass." It might pass like a kidney stone, but it'll pass. That just really got to me, and I was like, you know what? That's so true. I mean, as much as none of us want to hear that, sometimes that's just what it is. We need to struggle to learn. For me, the way I try to look at it is I want to help other people. So now I'm seeing firsthand how hard it can be for people with different disabilities and physical limitations as well as mental issues to strive in our society today, So I know like we're all kind of trying to figure out how we can raise awareness, first off for EDS, because it is crazy how much it affects people and all this other stuff. So we're checking into that and all this other stuff, and we just want answers, and we want to help other people have answers. Because for us, had I not ran into this one occupational therapist, and I thank you God for her, like she said, have you ever been diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome? As she was measuring my range of motion. And yeah, from then I started doing more research. And then eventually I found Izzy. I think her last name is Cobalt, but I don't know for sure. If you go to my channel, I am subscribed to her. I love her. She's so very educational and very willing to answer questions. Like, it may take her a second to get you an answer, but she will answer your questions, which is really super nice, especially when you're just kind of like, I don't know what to do, But yeah, had it not been for the one occupational therapist and then the education of Izzy, I wouldn't have known what to do, where to go. Because the first doctor I went to and I was like, they think I may have this. He was like, what is that? What kind of doctor do I even send you to do that? And so I did research, and I had to figure this all out on my own at first until we moved again. And luckily the doctor I got here was aware of what it was at least and where to send me. So that was good. That was very positive. Thank goodness I found her. And then I've moved since then to a doctor who actually has PhD doctor before their name, not just physician assistant or something like that. Not that that's bad. It's just my treatment team decided that was going to be better for me just because I have so much going on, that someone with a little more extensive experience, I don't know, you get what I'm saying. But so you have to keep pushing yourself, and like we talked about before, finding something that you want to do when there's a bad day is key, honestly. You have to find new things that you enjoy doing. One of the new things I've found is, of course, YouTube and then my crafts and stuff like that. But it was really hard for me to lose the ability to do sports and all this other stuff. And then, of course, I gained a lot of weight back too because I couldn't do anything. I was very active before, And when you're still basically a kid, you don't really think about compensating as far as calories go with like your daily activity when that's just been like what you've done all along, you know. But anyways, you guys, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. If there's something that you have to say on this topic, let me know. Let me know what you think. Are you mad? Have you lost something? Have you lost a part of you because of your chronic illness? Are you in pain all the time? Who else's shoulder won't go back in? I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!